My best friend ghosted me for a year, then asked me for coffee. A close friend of mine ghosted me years back. It was out of nowhere and took me a long time to accept the fact that she didn't want to see or speak to me. A year later, she sent me a text to meet up for coffee. I went because I missed her so much and wanted to find out what happened. During our conversation, she said something like, "I'm not sure why we lost touch." I asked her what happened, but she never gave me a straight answer. When I went home, I knew in my heart she didn't want to be friends anymore. She met up with me to break up for her peace of mind. I grieved that loss for a long time. I still think about it because it was around this time of year. I guess we don't talk about the loss of friendship and how it impacts you. It's been 9 years and I still miss her. I accept I wasn't her person, but it hurt so much at the time, and it still stings when I remember. When you miss a person that hurt you, it's usually because you filled the relationship with your love to cover for their lack of it. She was most likely mirroring your energy/interests, etc., to keep you interested, but didn't really have anything to offer. Good riddance. That's hard to read and hit close to home. This is a quiet, real kind of grief. Friendship breakups don't get enough space, and missing her even years later doesn't mean you haven't healed. It just means it mattered. Ghoster here. We were friends for over 15 years and lived in Nice in the best time of our lives, 20s late, 30s, but I realized how much of our relationship was being carried by me. I always gave her gifts, and many times handmade jewelry I used to make that she loved. I always listened when she had a breakup or difficult time with anything, but she never poured into my cup. And once I realized this, we talked about it. She took no accountability and in fact blamed me for our lack of connection. I chose me and left that vampire. A friend of mine ghosted me for about 2 years. One day, she texted me as if nothing happened. I fully accepted her. A few years later, she ghosted me again. Oh, wow. That must have been so difficult. I was living across the road from a beautiful beach. My ex-friends would turn up empty, handed expecting me to cook food and provide all expenses. I only worked part-time 4 days a week for a small wage. I know people like this. I'm always curious about the other side of these ghosting posts. I can't speak for your relationship, but I was the friend who ghosted the other. It took her over a year to realize I was gone because I was always the one to make efforts. 10 years later, I'm sure she still thinks I ghosted, when, in fact, I simply dropped the reins. I was reaching out for nearly a year, hence ghosting. After 3 months, I knew, but I still tried because we had a long history of friendship. Lots of people have seasons in your life. Some are just a few years, some come in and out, some are forever. Don't worry if they are not a forever person in your life. What is meant to be will be, and the season or many you had together are lovely memories. It's not personal, it's just the ebb and flow of life. Same, it was harder to get over than any romantic relationship. I had a close friend that I loved. Like a sister, I never had ghost me because she didn't like who I voted for in 2016. We were friends for 12 years, talked every day, went out every weekend, took little trips together. And in November 2017, she sent me a nasty text and I never heard from her again. I get it. Had a friend I thought of as a sister leave her husband. I gave her a free place to live, my car to drive, furniture, etc. I found out accidentally that she told a friend she couldn't trust me. Mind you, I had done absolutely nothing to be seen as an untrustworthy person. My finding out hurt me to a point I had chest pain. Finally, I had to ask her to leave my apartment since it was in my house. I couldn't look at her the same way. I was starting to have panic attacks. One half. I feel this only friend I knew for 8 years to stay in contact with me after high school blocked me on everything 2 years ago. He was my best friend. And it took me a while as well to realize I wasn't the problem and it wasn't my fault. I probably won't get closure, but that's okay. Hope he has a good life, I suppose. Your comment validated me and this silent grief I carried for so long. I feel guilty for even remembering her after all this while. It means the friendship mattered and there was love, even in the grief. I missed my friend. and it's been 5 years. It doesn't get easier, but your heart makes room for more love/friendships. According to social studies, about 50% of friendships end for about up to 7 years. Let's accept the phenomenon and be extra appreciative whoever is still around. Recently ghosted my best friend of 20 years. I noticed her claps became slower, more quiet as I elevated in my life. She began watching my accomplishments on socials, not engaging. Always having a level of critique when we chatted on the phone. I was always available when she needed to talk, but when I called, there was never room for me. But she would always make room for a man. So I finally chose myself. I woke up the week of Christmas and blocked her hash and socials. I chose me. I have peace. You women and your friendships. So weird. Guys never have these weird friendships. Y'all ghost each other in person by barely being present in the first place. I'm about to be very unpopular. I was 3 ghoster. About 15-ish years ago, my best friend started dating a guy. My gut said, stay away from him, and she wouldn't listen, and I couldn't continue the friendship. She was my person. I ghosted her. I didn't know how to handle it. She married him, then got divorced because he was PDF and her daughter. She told my husband she knew I did what I had to protect myself. I chose to not use that as a reconnecting. I trust my gut every time now. My friend ghosted me when she met and fell in love with a married man. The man was a foreigner and was in the country for work. As soon as his contract ended, he dumped her and returned to his country. Same week she got dumped, she reached out via email. I read it, deleted it, and forgot she ever existed. I once had a best friend who was always too busy to meet up with me, but not other people. Asked her 5 times what was wrong or if I did something wrong. She said no. A few years later, she started talking to me again at a festival I worked at. She said she thought I was in love with her. I had a boyfriend during our friendship and tried to continue our friendship like nothing happened. I told her I don't want to be friend with you. She cried the whole festival after that. Sounds like projection on her part. She was in love with you. No comments on the words said, but to say bravo on proper use of emoji. I was just coming here to ask, what is that little blue emoji? Yep, I love the saying stop watering. Flowers. I let my friends talk. I'm gonna call you back. Let's meet up. I know they'll cancel, etc. I'll let them a couple of times. Then I'm done. I'm okay. I've got other reliable friends. Life is short. People are busy or have other priorities. Don't lie or string people along. That wastes time. Enjoy life with people who want to hang out. They may be friends for a season. My closest friend of 27 years stopped speaking about 2 years ago. That was the biggest lost and hardest relationship to get over. Mind you, I've been divorced twice. She one day decided to tell me all the issues she had with me for the past 27 years of our friendship. Mind, she never mentioned anything before. I then realized that she never really liked me at all. I involuntarily ghosted my friends because of ex's isolation. Tactics 30 years ago. Been divorced 4 years and I want to rekindle them all, but they've moved on. His actions still affect me. I'm so lonely, and since the isolation is trained into me, it's hard to know how to make new friends. Ghosting isn't always intentional. It can be a trauma response. It has to do with them, not you. This thread. Thank you for opening up and allowing others to do so as well. Friendships are complicated and breakups of them are legitimate grief events. I am always the one who wants to communicate and get to the bottom of the issue, but very few people want to do so and sometimes see me as bullying them. So I'm trying to learn to accept what I can't change and be more of my own best friend. Losing a long-term friendship is terribly hard, but it is rarely out of nowhere. True, sometimes when I am low, I can't reach out to people. My ex-friend, who I did literally everything with, attached at the hip, she just stopped showing up one day. Going on 2 years now, and I still don't have an explanation. Some days it tears me up. Other days I just think of her and wish her the best. Still hurts. Same. I have let them all go. I can't be friends with anyone who supports what's happening in our country. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I was so naive when I was younger. I wish I had the courage to tell her off in the moment. She actually talked me out of turning him in because he has kids and he will lose his job. She wouldn't tell me his last name. He put my head in a bucket so I could vomit during. I regret so much that he has very likely done this again. What's your take on this situation? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to Thread Stories for more.